all for coming on this cold night, and hopefully it was pretty easy to find and not too icy on our sidewalks, so thank you. My name is Bruce Whitney. I'm the outreach coordinator for the NeighborWorks Heat Squad, which is a program of NeighborWorks of Western Vermont and Windham Windsor Housing Trust, and I'll be telling you much more about our program along with some of my colleagues, so hold off there. I need to thank my sponsors very much for helping out with this, which is Paul Cameron and Brattleboro Climate Protection, Guy Payne and SEON, Sustainability Energy Opportunity Network, and Kim Smith with the Windham Regional Commission. So they help get the word out and stuff, so appreciate you being here. I've got a really packed agenda, way packed. So my presenters know that we're going to keep things pretty tight, so thank you for that. We've got a period at the end for your questions. The Energizing Your Community is really about a dialogue and a Q&A session. So please ask clarifying questions as they come up. But in-depth questions and stuff, I've got a park and ride here. Not a parking lot, but a park and ride, because we all are going to think more about carpooling and taking the bus, yes? So we got a park and ride. I'll make notes and keep track of those burning questions. The agenda. All right. Hello, Tad. You've got to sign up in here and then help yourself to food, and I'm just going into the agenda.
Free beer?
You're supposed to bring that.
That's the after party. So I do also, after I go through the agenda, just want to go around the room real quick and have people introduce themselves with their name and why they're here or who they're with, real brief. But I think, so we'll find out who's here. I think I've got a mix of homeowners seeking, more information about this roadmap to efficiency. I've got energy committees and transition town members and at least one contractor, and then we've got the presenters telling us all about the program. So I'm hoping that we have a good dialogue at the end, and that we all get what we need from this, and please, if again, I can take a note, or you can always call or email me, and I'll follow up with any of those questions. So we're gonna start with Ben talking about VECAN, the Vermont Energy Conservation.
Vermont Energy and Climate Action Network.
Climate. You'd think these acronyms would roll off my tongue at this point, but they don't. So, Climate Action Network. He'll talk a little bit about energy committees and the work that they do. And if you haven't joined a committee or are interested, that's great. We're going to have Lee talk about, there's Lee there, talk about the New England Grassroots Fund, a really amazing program in that they will fund an energy committee even if you're not a 501c3. That's a rare thing in the funding world. And then Lisa Holderness is going to talk a little bit about VEEP, and she's got one of her demos over here. And then me and Melanie will talk a little bit about the Heat Squad. And then we're so happy to have Jen Norse come down from Burlington and Efficiency Vermont. She's here to learn more. She's pretty new, but also tell us a brief update on what's going on with Efficiency Vermont. And Deb Boyd is here with Rural Development, USDA Rural Development. They've got some great loan products we'll learn more about. Dan Mackey is here from GMP. He's going to tell us about their programs, eHome, and that whole suite of services. And then again, some time for the questions. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Ben.
The down button. I already lost it. Okay. Hi everyone. How's it going? I'm Ben Cipoletti. I'm an AmeriCorps member working with the Vermont Energy and Climate Action Network, which is a group of groups, if you will, that includes some of these organizations down here and also should include Paul Cameron with Brattleboro Climate Protection. We are a network of local energy committees and nonprofit and state organizations working to support the local energy groups and provide resources and information, as well as some technical assistance. We try to serve as a clearinghouse. We have a website, vcan.net, which has a growing number of case studies and template documents and resources for all kinds of energy efficiency and renewable energy projects. Let's see. So I guess I'll just jump into, well, first I should actually ask, who here is new to the local energy kind of scene, I should say? Anybody? Okay, a couple people. All right, so for some of you this will be review, but for the rest of you, just sort of VCAN's perspective on why local action. There's a lot of opportunity in Vermont's communities to reduce costs for homeowners, improve energy efficiency, reduce emissions, and create economic opportunities as well. And we're seeing that across the state with thermal efficiency and solar and what have you. So we really believe that it starts at the grassroots, and the communities themselves have a lot of power to push things forward that Montpelier might be dragging its feet a little bit on. So energy committees in general, how you would form one. There's three main types that you'll find depending on the community. You will have a committee that's appointed formally by the select board. That would be an official energy committee for the town. Or you could have a subcommittee of a planning commission, something similar to that. And then a lot of communities find it useful to have an ad hoc sort of system which isn't directly affiliated with the town, gives you a little more flexibility, but you lack maybe a municipal budget, some of the resources that go along with that. So it's really about finding the right fit for your community. And we have over 100 energy committees in the state, and that number fluctuates, as well as around 50 energy coordinators. And on the map, the dark green is those who have a committee and a coordinator. The light green is a committee, I believe, and the very light green is coordinators, and the rest are yet to be filled. So we encourage that. First steps, it really helps to have a clear mission. You know, what are your goals? What are your objectives? And important in developing those are what are the resources you have, you know, what are the town's energy needs, what's the most beneficial sort of bang for the buck project that you can take on to get some momentum going. And of course seeking the support of the select board or town commissions, generally fostering an atmosphere of relationship building and kind of mutual, I don't know, trust, I suppose. So the town plan, this is one piece where the committee can provide a lot of valuable information. The towns are required by the state to have an energy component to their town plan, and we have of course a state goal in Vermont being 90% renewable by 2050, and to help that along we can align the town's plans with the state plan, and that's something that, you know, is a part of the work of every municipality, which might be sort of left off the table for consideration if they don't have the support of a committee to do that work for them. And this is another example of some important things that committees can do. Among them, definitely the public relations side. You know, in your community, you have a lot of weight as somebody, you know, who's a neighbor, who's a friend, who's trustworthy, and who knows the town and who knows the area. So you can figure out together what's best for that particular environment, as opposed to maybe a top-down type solution that might not fit with what you're trying to do. And there's, you know, plenty of successful projects as well, such as weatherization and community solar, like you've had in Thetford or Mount Holly, and those have all been led by local energy committees. So keys to success, project champions are huge. You know, there's oftentimes somebody in those communities that will spearhead the effort and really devote their time and resources to making things happen. If you find those people, grab them make them feel important. They're wonderful. If you are one of those people, congratulations. Thank you so much. And of course, everyone that supports the committee in general is equally important. But a lot of times we do find that there's somebody in town who has those relationships they can bring to the committee. Let's see here. Brushing off my presentation skills for 2015. Think big, start small. I guess that's what I was going for earlier in the presentation. You want to take the low-hanging fruit maybe first, get a little momentum going, get a feeling of who you are as an organization and as a group of people, what you're good at, where your strengths are, and then you can use that moving forward to tackle some of the tougher projects. And of course, as far as community relations go, health benefits, monetary benefits, economic benefits, and side effect of saving the planet never hurts. So, how VEEP can help? We are there primarily to support the growth of energy committees in the state and provide resources for people looking to do that, and also for the continued strength of the existing committees. And that my job is essentially to communicate with all of those groups and link people together with other people who can really make things happen. We have our great website, as I mentioned, veecan.net. It's a clearinghouse of information, and we are updating it with a whole host of community solar guidelines right now. It's going to be a lot of template documents, requests for proposals, contracts, things that would be a real headache to start from scratch on. So we look to provide those for the towns. And I think that's it.
I jumped right in with Ben. So before we jump in with Lee, we'll introduce ourselves and start with Lisa.
I'm Lisa. I'll talk about VEEP in a second, but I'm an organic farmer in Guilford, and spending as little money on energy as humanly possible is the basis of my ability to thrive as a business. And so I'm really excited about everything that you're going to hear about tonight, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone about it from a more personal level about how we choose to invest in energy efficiency at our farm. And I'm on the energy committee for the town of Guilford, and I see some Guilford people, so hopefully we can get together after too. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jerry Freeman. I'm here as a representative of Windham Windsor Housing Trust and the Heat Squad.
I'm Dan Mackey. I work for Vermont Power. My job title is Innovation Champion, in which our goal is actually to provide services to our customers that traditionally have not been offered, and change the paradigm from Green Mountain Power being a traditional electric utility to actually being a service provider by providing Vermonters with efficiency and opportunity to gain efficiency while living in their traditional Vermont home.
Michael Raymond. I'm an independent energy auditor and contractor in Windham and Windsor Windham and Windsor counties in southern Vermont.
I'm Jen Norris. I'm the Home Performance Program Manager for Efficiency Vermont. As Bruce mentioned, I'm fairly new to the role, so I was really happy to have the invitation to come here and hear a little bit about what's going on from the homeowners' perspectives and the Energy Committee's perspectives. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Hi, I'm Lee Cameron. I'm with the New England Grassroots Environment Fund, and I'll tell you a little bit more about our organization in a minute.
And I'm Paul Cameron. I'm Director of Brattleboro Climate Protection and Brattleboro Town Energy Coordinator.
And I'm Guy Payne, Director of the Sustainable Energy Outreach Network, and the sole member of Rockingham's Energy Coordinator.
I'm Debbie Boyd. I work for USDA Rural Development. We offer 40 different programs, from financing to purchase or repair homes to community facilities, water sewer systems, and renewable energy for America programs. So, fine.
I'm Katie Berg, and I'm an energy activist in Dummerston, and in 2013 coordinated the town-wide Home Energy Challenge through Efficiency Vermont, and most recently coordinated the Button-Up Day for our town.
I'm Carrie Wilson. I'm the AmeriCorps member with the Neighborhood Heat Squad. Did really quickly want to say too that we can provide PDFs of all the PowerPoint slides in case there's a lot of meat on the slides. You can have access to this later if you have your email down on the sign-up sheet.
Thanks.
I'm Kim Smith with the Windham Regional Commission. I'm a planner of energy, so sort of a regional resource for people here.
I'm Bob Farnham, known online as Bob the Green Guy, and I record and publish events like this so that people that couldn't make it can see that it's cool to be here.
And I'm Ann Carey, a homeowner.
Shauna Frank, a homeowner in Putney.
Alex Wilson, member of the Dummerston Energy Committee, and a plug for anyone from Dummerston, or if you know someone from Dummerston, we're looking for 2 new members, maybe 3 new members of the committee.
I'm Chuck Fish, and I'm here on behalf of the Dummerston Historical Society because we're adding, we're building an addition on our schoolhouse, which is that handsome little building right in Dummerston Center next to the town office building. And we want to do it in the most energy efficient way possible, so that's why I come to meetings of this sort.
I'm Michael Wells from Putney. I'm a former building contractor, among other things.
It started in the back.
Tad Montgomery. I am on the Brattleboro Energy Committee, the Windham Regional Commission's Energy Committee, and I run Home Energy Advocates and Solarize Windham County.
Jackie Gaines, I'm from Guilford, Gainsborough, and I'm here to try to learn how to save money and figure out ways to fund out the place some more.
I'm Betty Fry from Guilford, and I go to things like this. No, I do, and I got an invitation through social media, and I told our representative, Mike Hebert, who's on the Natural Resource Committee, and he said, oh, please go, I want to know what it will be about, so I'm reporting back to him. That's how it goes.
I'm Ann Wright Parsons, and I found out about this because I'm on Katie's email list.
Transition Dummerston.
I live in Brattleboro in a condo, and I'm interested as a homeowner. I just had an energy audit from heat, but I'm interested as a homeowner, and also if I can convince the other condo owners into doing some of the basic things. So it's to find out what costs are, how we could maybe get some rebates for the entire condo association to improve the energy efficiency of our buildings.
And I'm Melanie Paskovich, the program manager of the Heat Squad.
Back to me, and then I'm turning it over to Lee.
So I'm Lee Cameron. I'm the Energy and Climate Program Coordinator with the New England Grassroots Environment Fund. We're a nonprofit based in Newmarket, New Hampshire, and our mission is to energize and nurture long-term civic engagement and local initiatives that create and maintain healthy, just, safe, and environmentally sustainable communities. And we do this by supporting grassroots organizations through 4 main ways. The first is through financial support, mainly through our small grants program. We also provide tools, so these can be anything from technical resources, process guides, to workshops, events, and trainings. We also provide stories through our news bulletins and on our website, getting success stories out there to inspire and guide other projects. And we also do network building. So we provide coordination support for energy networks such as the New Hampshire Local Energy Work Group, and also generally try to bring local leaders working on energy issues together. So in terms of how we define grassroots, mainly for our small grants program, we're talking about both formal and informal groups that are working at the neighborhood or municipal level. And these are groups that have no more than 2 full-time employees and that have annual operating budgets under $100,000. And again, we are not able to financially support statewide projects. We're really focused on the neighborhood and local level. And again, the average group is all volunteer, and their budgets are under $10,000 a year. So for our small grants program, we have 3 main offerings. The first offering is a seed grant. These range from $250 to $1,000. And these are geared towards groups that are just starting up to help them get off the ground and start a new project. And you can apply for a seed grant online. It's a very simple online application, and we accept those on a rolling basis. We review them very regularly and expect to provide decisions within about 4 weeks. The second offering is a GROW grant, and these are larger grants of $1,000 to $3,500. And these are geared towards organizations that are already established that are looking to increase their impact and expand their efforts. These are, again, an online application through our website, but we only review these applications twice a year. The next deadline is actually coming right up on March 15th, and then we'll be reviewing applications again in September. The third option is a harvest grant, and this is a newer grant that was launched in 2013. These are typically stipend grants for grassroots leaders, and as it is a new program, we are currently accepting applications on an invitation-only basis. And we work in a lot of different areas of sustainability, but in terms of energy and climate related projects, here is just a sample of the types of projects that we have supported. Energy committee development. This could be hiring a stipend for a coordinator, or support for trainings and events. Town or school energy benchmarking, energy audits of town buildings, feasibility studies for energy efficiency or renewable energy projects, as well as associated outreach and education about those projects. Rideshare and public transportation campaigns, alternative transportation campaigns, and actual renewable energy installations. And again, public awareness and outreach as well. And just to give you a couple examples of projects, this is a picture of an energy raiser, which is neighbors helping neighbors implement energy projects, such as installing solar panels or solar hot water systems to bring down the cost of installations, as well as help educate homeowners about their system and really create a community feel around the project and help others get involved. This is Neighbors Warming Neighbors, a weatherization project by the Dunbarton Energy Committee in New Hampshire, where the Energy Committee went out and conducted energy audits of residences in their town to help homeowners make improvements to decrease energy usage and associated costs during the winter. And these are just a sample of projects. It's not a comprehensive list, but you can take a look at our website and see more project stories and highlighted projects that we have there. And we're also open to new and creative ideas as well. So feel free to call or email me if you have any other questions.
If I could, I just wanted to mention that the Dummerston Energy Committee got one of these GROW grants a couple years ago, and it was invaluable for some energy surveying we did in the town to try to establish baseline energy consumption data and then ongoing education to try to bring that down. So thank you.
Great,
So I'm Lisa Holderness. I'm from the Vermont Energy Education Program, and I think they invite me to these in part because I bring hands-on demos, and I see that we're a little behind schedule. So what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about what we do, and then at the transition time to the discussion, if 2 people want to help me start the experiment, I will run the button-up weatherization experiment on heat loss. So we'll pour some hot water into those 2 buildings. I usually bring 4 models into the classroom. So this is narrowed down to the sealed but not insulated, and insulated but with some very obvious intentional cracks to help students notice the difference. And it's actually, I think, a pretty good example usually of where I would choose to spend my money on weatherizing, based on the science of it. So anyway, that's what we do. We actually are funded through everyone's electric bills. We used to be part of Efficiency Vermont, and now we are our own nonprofit, and we get the statewide contract. So there's someone like me in every county in the state. I'm responsible for Bennington, Windham, and Windsor counties. And our state believes that everyone graduating from high school should be energy literate, and we promote good scientific methods and thinking. At the same time, we teach about the first and second law of thermodynamics. So we do Button Up is our heat loss project, which usually goes grades 5 through 8. And we also do electricity in the environment to help students think about, first of all, just to learn and make electricity, because most of us have no idea how we actually generate electricity. And we do demos of steam and water and wind. And we also do demos of solar. It's just really neat. I think kids who go through our programs, if they have 2 to 4 classes with us, know much more than I knew as an adult when I started out running my own home and my own business. So it's a pretty cool thing. And so we don't need money from anyone, but anytime you can say something good about us, that's great. And if you, there is one thing I would say locally would be wonderful. It would be so fantastic if someone wanted to donate to us an FLIR infrared camera, because Bruce and I teamed up on an after-school program one day, and there's nothing that is more captivating and has more educational potential than doing this demo and actually seeing the heat loss visually. I can show the temperature data with data loggers, but it's just not the same. So if there's an opportunity to get a tax deduction if anyone wanted to donate one to us or help us get that. Otherwise, that's about what VEEP does. And I'll just show you really quickly, this is one way we think about things. And I think it's useful. I think there'll be great homeowners in the future to just know that energy is transferred and transformed to get all of the work done that we want to get done, to keep our homes warm, to run all our digital devices, and just having that basic understanding, and then understanding that efficiency lies in getting the most work out for the least input, and how can we reduce the input and keep up the quality of life that we all want. Especially the kids are very particular about what they want in the quality of life. This is inspiration if anybody isn't. By the time you walk out of here tonight, if you're not convinced you should do an energy audit, bills are the other reason. And then I won't show you this slideshow, but I will just skip to the part, this thing about global warming. I'm a sugar maker. So if you work with the land and you look at the seasonal changes, and my husband's been doing it for 36 years now, I guess, it's pretty obvious that we need to make a change to maintain our Vermont quality of life and our economics. So 2 to 4 degrees of turning it down, especially that house just shows kids that if there's no one in the house, why are you heating it that much? Which makes more sense when you realize you're constantly losing heat every second of the day if your house is not the same temperature as the outside, no matter what we do. And then so we look at heat loss through convection, and that's pretty important, and we show them that, see, I could be doing this in the classroom instead of a slide, but if you've never had an energy audit and you don't see this tonight, it made a world of difference for us, and we don't even pay for heat. We pay with our time and chainsaw, bar and chain oil and gasoline and time, because we heat entirely with wood and solar. And this is the blower door thing. It's very hard to do this with kids, but I will say the other great program, so I go into classrooms and I do presentations about energy. I get to do community events like this occasionally. So far I've recorded 26 people, so if someone gets a different number, let me know, because we have to report back to our funders. But I also do the whole school energy challenge. And right now, the Putney Central School is one of 12 schools that were accepted into the program statewide. My other school is in Woodstock, so it's a bit of a haul. I don't know if the differences they make will ever counteract the fossil fuels I've burned in my Prius. But so we teach kids about weatherizing and literally saving energy in their school building. So they work on reducing their electricity use, they work on reducing their heat load, their fuel use. They track it all, they do math with it, but this is very hard to do with this school. Really, the energy audits that are funded at the state level, Norm Edkin, the School Energy Management Program, SEMP, if anybody's trying to get your school to save some money, that's one of the biggest areas where schools could be saving money is energy costs. And so, but this is the home version with the blower door. I think it's called a Milwaukee blower door, someone tell me. But just sucking out all the air until you depressurize the house. That's what they're gonna do if they come to your house. And you get to see the leaks visually and feel them. It's mind-boggling. So this is the kind of thing the kids love to see, the invisible. If we all became energy detectives with as much curiosity as the kids, we could make a huge difference. And then we talk about insulation, of course, blah, 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 blah. Our values. I'd love a professional to tell me if this needs to be updated on the standards. The slideshow will be available to you, and tell me if it should be updated. And then this is where we leave it, of course. So for many, many aspects of environmental and social change, working with kids first is the easiest way to go because they're all contained in one space. They come from all different economic backgrounds and religious and social beliefs, and if you can get them all to think clearly about the science of energy at once, then when they leave school they can help their families save money or encourage them to participate in programs, or at least do a better job when they end up in their own homes. So that's VEEP in a nutshell. Clearly there is no air movement. Well, no offense, but there could be a little more air movement in this room for someone of my age and gender. And so in the classroom we set up a fan over ice to simulate the air movement, which makes it a fairer test of the convective heat loss and the conductive heat loss, or the do I go with air sealing or do I go with insulating. And I left out the insulated and sealed house, which we all know the difference is incredible. So thank
so Lisa,
you.
Do you need some help with getting the program into schools and these?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Okay, really the reason they pay me the big bucks to come tonight is that I am working in the Dummerston School thanks to Katie's influence. I am working in the Putney Central School. I have worked in the past in the Guilford School. I have not gotten into BAMS, even though it's actually very good high-level science I can do with them. That's the middle school. I have not gotten into the high school. And I have not gotten into Leland and Gray Middle or High School. I've just spent 4 days working at Newbrook, and I work in Dover. So if you have a connection to a school I did not mention, I have flyers here, at least enough for half of you, and our website is VEEP, VEEP.org. Very easy to find, and you can contact me through them too.
So is it good to go through science teachers or school board members or principals?
Well, at the elementary school, all it takes is one teacher. Usually I work grade 3 and up, but once I'm in the school, I'll work with the younger kids. It's not really our target audience. 4th and 5th and 6th graders have actual science standards related to energy use and the impact of humans on the environment as part of the next generation science standards. So if you wish your school was doing more, just tell them they can have me come in. It's free, completely free, already paid for, and I can help them meet their science standards. Because it's a good time for us to get into schools with our particular slant, because they really need help getting the science standards met. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. We're now talking about the NeighborWorks Heat Squad. We are a one-stop shop for energy efficiency. As I mentioned before, we're a partnership with NeighborWorks of Western Vermont. Their offices are in West Rutland and Windham and Windsor Housing Trust, and you're in our office building and one of our rental buildings, and this is the community room that is open to our tenants for community gatherings as well as community groups. We're working to support homeowners to improve the energy efficiency of their home. We're working with people of all incomes. We have, a base market of moderate and lower income folks, but we're working with all incomes. We're working in Addison, Rutland, Bennington, Windham, and Windsor counties, and a little bit larger. Our partners include Efficiency Vermont and Green Mountain Power, and the local home performance with Energy Star contractors, and all the local energy committees and champions. So thank you to our partners. To date, we've worked with over 2,800 homeowners and helped them with an energy audit so that they understand their energy usage. And a little over 1,000 have completed efficiency projects.
Actually, we're at 1,200.
1,200. That number is rapidly rising every day. We can't keep our slides. You'll see on this chart, the blue is the statewide numbers across all the counties in Vermont, and the red is red just Rutland County or our?
It is until 2013.
Okay, and then we don't have. We're still working on our 2014 numbers.
Yes.
So we've had a big impact, in Rutland County where we've been running the longest, and as we've grown, we're seeing that same impact extend. Here's a story about how one of our energy champions has really impacted her town. There's 523 year-round homes and almost as many seasonal homes. 56 of them have had an upgrade. They've saved a ton of energy, as you can see on the slide there. Carbon dioxide saved is over 200,000 pounds. And it's all been championed by Marcy Tanger, an engaged town member. And she's an inspiration to many of us. She works tirelessly and I think we'll jump into just a quick little fun video if it comes up, and it might. As you can see in her, she knows people, she talks to people, she just constantly is nudging people, and she's just a great example and has done tremendous work. And One of the things is that NeighborWorks of Western Vermont nominated her to be a Dorothy Richardson Award, and she's won that award, and
It's a nationwide.
So what's new for 2015 is that we are doing the audits. We've hired an auditor, and we'll be hiring more audits. Up until now, we had an energy advisor who would work with the homeowner, and we would match them with an auditor. Now we're doing the audits in-house, and it's the audit cost is still $100. It's a full-blown home performance with Energy Star audit. The auditor will come and do that blower door test, as Lisa said. Go around with the IR camera, plug all the information into software, and produce a report while he's still there, and go over it with the homeowner at their kitchen table in that same appointment. And it provides a basic scope of work, along with how much energy we predict, and along with Efficiency Vermont, you predict you will save, how much incentives you will qualify for if you do the work, and help the homeowner with them where they're at, good, better, best, how deep does the homeowner want to go, what's their budget, work with them to break that into doable steps for them, and meet them where they're at, and help them work with the installation companies. If they want to bid it out, we'll bid it out. If they have an installation company in mind that they like working with, or have worked with, or heard from their neighbor is good, they can work with them if they want. We have financing options available. We have, for lower income folks, both organizations have a revolving loan fund that can be used for weatherization. It's below market interest rate. We also have, our NeighborWorks of Western Vermont has a loan product that we'll talk more about. And we also are very aware of what the local banks and rural development and others have, and help match the right financing with the right project. We're doing the test outs when, after the work has been done by the installation company. We come back and do a quality control and test out, which is what you need to do to get the incentives from Vermont. So we're handling all the paperwork for the homeowner and the installation contractor, so that they get the incentives. And again, for households, that's $100. We are working in the building performance program, which is small commercial up to 10,000 square feet. Those audits are a little bit more involved, and the price on those is $300. So I'm going to have Melanie come talk about the loan product.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
I'll-
you have
I'll
questions?
Yes.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Bruce. Are these audits available to residents of Windham County, or just through the Housing Trust clients?
They're available to everyone, residents of Windham and Windsor counties, and are not just clients. You call us up, and we'll schedule the audit and have the auditor come over.
Schedule your audit.
Financial restrictions?
No.
Income restrictions?
No financial restrictions. No.
And here's the.
Oh, good look at you.
Oh, and here's a
I
audit
had
report.
one.
She's a recent
Audit
auditee.
report.
And John Burr spent about 4 hours with me going over all of it. And the most amazing thing was when he took that infrared thing.
Camera, yeah.
And I saw where the heat loss was. It's just so astonishing. So I highly recommend it. It was excellent.
Good, thank you for that.
And Lisa?
Oh, I have a question about the test out.
Yep.
So does the test out include both a viewing with the IR camera to see the things you wouldn't otherwise be able to see, and the blower door test, or just a blower door test?
That's why I had Melanie come over to answer that
So
question.
the test out's normally just the blower door. He'll have his IR camera with him, so if you want him to look at something, he'll have it with him, but it doesn't normally the IR is for the test-in or the initial audit. But that's not to say we can't do it for the test.
I think it'd be a really good idea.
Yeah.
It would be an improvement over what sometimes happens.
That's a good idea. Might talk
Yeah,
about
and
that.
definitely, if the homeowner has questions, we're here for the homeowner. We're here to help you figure out what's best for you and your home. We're not an installation company, we're not foam guys, we're not cellulose guys, we're auditors, we're coming from a housing perspective to help you save money. There's a question here.
Just for clarity, this is brand new to Windham County, starting in 2015, or this has always been available through Windsor Wyndham? Or?
The Heat Squad's been in Windham and Windsor County. Actually, we started in Rutland County until spring of 2013 or summer of 2013, and then we spread out to Addison, Bennington, Windham, and Windsor counties, and we've always had Rutland County. So it's really been since spring of 2013. Excuse me.
And does it make sense to have one in the middle of winter when you can't see the outside too?
That's the best. I mean, that's a good time to do it. You can do audits year round, but it's a great time to do it now.
Especially with the IR camera, because you're actually going to see that cold air infiltration very obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, you need like a 20-degree difference from inside to outside to see. But so this is a good time of year to do it. But you can't do it year round. I don't want people to think you can't. You can't do it all year round. So if you want to sign up, there is a sheet here. Yes.
Are you empowered to work with nonprofits, buildings, other than just the audit? With some of the follow through, either loans or help with construction?
Yeah, so currently the Heat Squad does not have funding for commercial projects. We just have, we have state treasurer money that's for our loan pool, but it's for residential. So, but that's why we're starting, and honestly, the funding we started with Heat Squad in 2010, we could only do residential audits. Now we're open and we can now, so we're just literally starting to branch out into commercial. And it's really just an organic, because we've done so many audits and helped so many customers that they're coming back to us saying, hey, can you do an audit on my business now? I'm like, sure, what is that? Sure, let's try it, why not? So we're just rolling into that now. So yes, I mean, we can do commercial. We haven't got into municipal, or I'm not sure what that even looks like quite yet, because boards get tricky and that.
And Mike, I'm on the board of Putney Cares, and I had Mike Raymond do an audit. Mike Wells built the activities barn.
Oh.
Mike Raymond is the auditor who did the audit. He found it to be a very tight looking thank you, Mike Wells. A shout out to you, and a shout out to Mike. I mean, now that we are doing those structures, that would be in the building performance program, and I mean, I think at the time we did the audit, we weren't officially doing it, but I called up Melanie and said, really? And called up Mike and stuff.
Sure.
So, and Mike Wells built that building, and how many years later? It's tight. We just need to do some more insulation in the basement, because it's been one of those. As we've had funding, we've been working on the building. Yeah. All right.
Any other
more
questions?
Details on financing?
Any other questions? So I'll just talk quickly about our financing. So we have a statewide energy loan, and it literally is statewide. So anybody in the state can take advantage of our loan. And it's available to all Vermont homeowners up to 4 units. So if you're in an apartment, 1 to 4 units, we can provide you with a loan. It's 10-year unsecured up to $15,000. I did also want to mention that we now are working with Green Mountain Power and Vermont Electric Co-op, and we're starting to talk to other power companies offering on-bill repayment. So what that means is, obviously, you get a loan with NeighborWorks. If you want to pay it off as an option instead of sending a separate check, you just pay for it on your GMP power bill. So it's a pretty slick We're all about simplicity and one-stop shop with the Heat Squad, so we're trying to make it as easy as we can for homeowners. And your funds, they can be used for weatherization, obviously. But if your house is already at a certain energy level, maybe it's Energy Star, maybe you only have so many air exchanges per hour, and you want to add a heat pump or you want to add solar, we can talk to you about that with our loan product. What else do I need to say? Or hybrid hot water heaters. So we talk about our loan throughout the process. When you sign up for an audit, we're going to mention our loan. When my auditor, John Birch, comes out to your house, he'll give you a packet. In that packet is a loan application. So it's always available, it's always there. In the end of January, we're going to have an online application system. So you'll be able to apply for a loan and get a response within 24 hours if you're approved or not. Anything else I wanted to? I think that's all. But
Yeah.
it's there, it's available. You don't have to go through the Heat Squad for the loan.
Yeah,
You can just,
if you've worked with a different company, whatever.
That's fine.
It doesn't, it's okay.
You just go to our website or give us a call and we'll send you a loan application, and then we have a lender that will take you from there and help you through the rest of it. Yes, ma'am.
Well, if no one else is going to ask, what's the rate?
Can I
Because this
say
is
it?
going to go on TV, right? As of this moment, 7 o'clock on the
Yeah, don't hold
20th?
me to it, subject to change, blah, 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 little words, 5.35. I did want to mention that we will be having an interest rate buy down based on your income. That's coming soon, and honestly, I don't know what those interest rates are. They're really good, but that is coming soon.
Yeah, the interest rate buy down is really good. That's coming out of the state funding and the public service board. So
It's like really good.
It's going to bring it down to a really low percentage. So, Paul.
I just want to say a word about the PACE program.
Oh,
That
okay.
stands for Property Assessed Clean Energy. And for those towns that have voted to set up a PACE program, residents can take out loans and they pay it back through an assessment on their property taxes. And this year the program has been redesigned so that the interest rate is much lower than in the past. It's 0 to 2% rather than 7%. As it was in the past, so that's an option for towns and residents as well.
Do you know which towns those are? Or is there a website?
Putney, I believe, is passed.
Brattleboro?
Is Dummerston?
Brattleboro is not yet
Not yet.
done it.
Marlboro.
I don't know about.
No,
anybody
not
know?
Guilford.
No?
Is that on the Efficiency Vermont website?
Bob Walker at Surge is kind of the local, well, he's not local to here, but I can hook you up with more information about PACE. Thank you. Park and ride for PACE. All right. Here's our contact information. What I like to tell people is, if you're ready to schedule an audit, call the 877 number. You can call me, but I'll just repeat my spiel.
Or you can sign up on the sheet.
Or you can sign up on the sheet.
It's even easier.
And now we have Jen Norse with Efficiency Vermont.
I got another 5 minutes. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. So, I guess one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about specifically in this area is, just before I started with Efficiency Vermont, we ran a host of community forums throughout the state, and one of them was held down in this area. And so one of the goals that I'm kind of taking on is really trying to get a little bit more visibility in this area, so that this area and then areas like the Northeast Kingdom where there maybe aren't as many contractors or organizations, so that we can really make people feel like we're covering the whole state of Vermont, and not just focusing on areas, say like Chittenden County where Efficiency Vermont is located. And one of the things that we'd like to do is obviously attend more meetings like this, but also potentially have roundtables with homeowners and contractors to get a better sense of what the market is looking like, what people are interested in, what's driving them, what's working for the contractors, what isn't working for the contractors, and really get a better sense of
how we as an organization, as a third party, can help transition the market into a better place and get more people, pardon me, to participate in energy efficiency so that we can meet the goals of the state, but as well as the homeowners, myself included. So, so if anybody has questions or suggestions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you.
Guy came from SEON, and there's more an announcement to some of the contractors on February 19th. Dave Keefe is coming down to run the residential building energy standard training, because there's been a whole new update on the energy code. So it will be done at the Marlboro Grad Center, and we've been from the business side. Efficiency Vermont has been great.
Thank you.
Folks have, they've made great work with the Jeff Gebhardt comes down monthly.
Yeah.
Jen comes down monthly. So you have your presence here.
Yeah, and I think
sphere.
we'd like to do more. I think we can do more. Pardon me. And a lot of what we heard from the forums was homeowners want more education. They want to know a little bit more about efficiencies, and we're working with Bennington College students to see about making that happen, where Dave potentially will come back down and do a homeowner training so that folks in this area can get a better understanding of what can happen, what needs to happen, and what they need to do in order to do that.
May I ask a question? Is that meeting one that one needs to register for? The meeting you're talking about?
If you're a contractor, yeah.
Oh, if you're not a contractor, it's
registered
only
through
for
me.
contractors?
Right.
Okay, I just downloaded the
Architects,
215 graph.
contractors, home performance folks.
Okay, all right.
Jim, what's the easiest way to get a hold of you? I see you've got a pile of business cards, and I can write your email or phone number. Which?
J Norz, N-O-R-Z, at VEIC.org.
I should have known that.
Next time.
That's a Z. JNORZ at VEIC.org. Debbie Boyd will talk about the rural development loans.
Great, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, USDA Rural Development has 40 different programs and it administers. I'm not going to talk about all 40 tonight though. Just to plant some seeds, community facility projects, not-for-profit entities or municipalities, if they wanted to convert their oil burner over to a wood pellet stove or something like that, that's something that we might be able to help with. Business and industry programs, we might be able to help with replacing freezers, like at CNS or something like that. So those are the bigger items. What I do though, my job is to help folks purchase homes and also do repairs to them. With the repair program, it's called our 504 repair program, and thank you, there are some pamphlets there along with my business cards. The 504 program has a loan and a grant component. It's designed to help very low-income homeowners do repairs to their homes. So very low-income homeowners fall below 50% of median income or less. So a single person under $22,000 per year would be considered very low income. Most of the people that access our 504 repair program are senior citizens. The 1% fixed rate loan has a maximum loan of up to $20,000 with a maximum repayment period of up to 20 years. It really depends on what their budget says they can afford. If they were to borrow $1,000 with a 20-year repayment period, $4.60 would be their monthly payment. So it really is pretty affordable. The loan component can be used to upgrade some efficiency items, such as doing solar panels, maybe participating in an outdoor wood furnace, that type of thing. We do partner a lot with NeighborWorks of Western Vermont and Windham Windsor Housing Trust, SEVCA. So if someone calls and says to me, I want to get my home weatherized, my first question is, have you called SEVCA or Heat Squad or someone else to get some weatherization assistance? And we could replace the windows or the roof or something like that, or even the well or the septic system if need be. The types of homes that we can repair, they have to be in good overall condition. They can need, obviously, some repair, but if it is such a huge project that even with all of our combined finances, we just can't address all of the home's needs, then we probably will say no. Folks eligible for the 504 grant program, they have to be 62 years of age or older, and their budget has to show that they are unable to afford a 1% fixed rate loan. In lots of cases, though, we can do a loan grant combination as long as the person is 62 years of age or older. So maybe their budget shows that they have $15 a month left over. We might be able to make a very small loan, but then help them most with a grant. Single family homes only, no apartments. Properties have to be on a town maintained road. If the lot exceeds a minimum lot size for the town, then we need documentation that proves that the lot can't be subdivided into another building lot. We also have a net worth limitation, so if elders have a net worth, which is cash in the bank basically, of more than $20,000, then they will have to put some of that money into the transaction to help reduce the amount of assistance that they need. But for the most part, we help a lot of folks, and we partner a lot with other agencies. And we always have lots of 504 loan monies available. Grant money is more restricted, but we really need to get that loan money out into the community. I cover Bennington, Rutland, Windham, and Windsor counties. My office is located here in Brattleboro. And my business card is there, so feel free to give me a call or send me an email if you have questions.
Thank you. Thank you. And Dan with GMP, Green Mountain Power.
So to get us back on track, I'm going to show a bunch of slides. I'm going to do a little bit of talking, but what I'd love to have is to have this actually interactive. I mean, when I actually had an opportunity to go from being a fleet manager at Green Mountain Power to an innovation champion, I was like, this is cool. How can you now go from a traditional electric utility to actually providing energy services to Vermonters? I'm one. I was born in the state, and so far I've lived in the state all my life. I love doing this stuff. People get excited and actually have found their home much more comfortable. Who is Green Mountain Power? I'll show you the map. I'm not going to read it. I will tell you that some of the information is a little bit outdated. We're up to 13 solar projects now. We basically are covering the majority of the state of Vermont. And I don't like it when we have ice and bad weather, because then it means my traditional role changes. As I said earlier, what we're trying to do and what we're doing right now, I shouldn't say try to do, so what we're doing is we're actually changing from a traditional electric utility to a service provider, to actually be able to provide energy services to Vermont residents, to our customers, and actually allow them to save money, reduce their fossil fuel, and have their home more efficient. What is an e-home? It's basically, it starts with partnering with people like we have, NeighborWorks, Efficiency Vermont, and starting with the shell of the home. Creating that thermal envelope, in which there's some homes that I've been in Rutland County that, they're heating the outside space. Their neighbors have to love them because they're heating their home as well as their own home. You go up into someone's attic and there's nothing. Boards. You know, is there an opportunity for them? Absolutely. And the people that we've actually moved forward at this point in time, we actually have 13 e-homes in the system in which we've actually walked through the weatherization, and Green Mountain Power has actually fulfilled the role as project management. And when I say that, overseeing the entire project. So you as the homeowner, you don't need to make that phone call to the contractor, to NeighborWorks, to the heat pump installer, to the heat pump hot water heater installer, to the solar installer. We're actually providing that service for our customers. In which, if you want to move forward with any of those things, we make the arrangements, make the communication. Any issues, any problems, we're actually dealing with those on your behalf. And as I got ahead of myself a little bit, you know, the partner structure and the financing component as well. We're actually leasing air-sourced heat pumps for heating and cooling your home with no upfront cost to the customer, which the average Vermonter, do they have a lot of excess money in the bank account? Absolutely not. Are they looking for a way to make their house more comfortable? Absolutely. With the low interest loan through NeighborWorks, as well as leasing a heat pump from us, and potentially a heat pump hot water heater, it's amazing the amount of efficiency. We've actually seen on the lower end of scale, typically about a $2,000 a year savings for the average customer. What's an e-home look like unplugged? It's a lot of stuff, and a lot of very good stuff. Renewables, solar, community solar, electric vehicles, energy management. The other thing, as people move forward and actually become an e-home, we'll provide them with a rainforest gateway, which is a device that actually starts learning the electric usage in your home. So what will happen is today, you plug it in, it doesn't seem to know anything. A few days, it'll realize that there's a dishwasher, there's a hot water heater, you have an electric stove. It'll actually start monitoring that usage and provide you with data. You can actually utilize that data at that point to say, okay, can I go look at a new energy efficient or a new appliance and actually get some rebates from Efficiency Vermont by upgrading that and actually reduce my electric expenses? So it's a great tool. Thermal shell, the whole key to the whole thing is the thermal shell. You need to start by creating that thermal envelope, and then alternate sources for heating the home. How's it work? We contact the customer. We put them directly, we make the phone call to NeighborWorks. We actually do a home visit after NeighborWorks has been there, sometimes before, to actually see if it makes sense. Is this home a good home for a heat pump, air-sourced heat pump for heating and cooling the home, as well as can we put a heat pump hot water heater in the home? And we'll actually take all of that stuff and provide the customer with a spreadsheet that actually shows their savings today, and their savings spread over 20 years. Now, one of the things we have found is a lot of Vermonters change their habits. They used to have their house at 62. Now they have their house at 68 because of the fact that it's comfortable, the wind's not blowing through it, and they're not spending anywhere near as much money as they were previously. And this needs to be updated too. There's only 10 e-homes there, and primarily our focus at this point in time has been Rutland County. We're branching out and trying to go further, and we will go further. Our goal is to have 100 e-homes in Rutland County by the end of this year, 2015. And the comment, I mean, I can read it to you, but read the comment from Tish Lynch. Now, I have to tell you, this is a customer that when I first showed up at the door, Dave, the husband, looks at me and he says, "Why is Green Mountain Power doing this?" And I said, well, it's all about saving you money and providing a service to you. And it's like, well, I'm not so sure. Well, if you read Tish's comment, they're very pleased. They've been in their home for over 20 years. They had never been warm. They had baseboard electric heat, and they actually had a propane heater that was one of the ventless types, in which when we actually did the air quality test, I mean, it wasn't pretty. So now they're comfortable in their home like they've never been before. The Borkowskis in Rutland was actually the very first heat home. I don't know if you've heard anything about that on Baxter Street. A home that we did weatherization. We installed 2 heat pumps. They were burning a substantial amount of fuel oil on an annual basis, in which there really wasn't any comfort level in their home. They're always cold, and in their girls' bedrooms, they were astonished last winter, in which they had heat, they were warm. They didn't go to bed with a sleeping bag, they now go to bed with blankets, and they're comfortable. And it takes a group of people and a network to actually accomplish things like this. You can't do it by yourself, you've got to be partnered with the right people, with the right skills, and the same goals. That was very, very quick. I could have spent an hour here, as Melanie knows. She's back there shaking her head. And I'm surprised she didn't give me the cue to keep rolling. But, any questions?
Yeah, and we'll just segue right into the question portion, and maybe after some questions, Lisa can get going on her, and please help yourself to food. Yep.
Yes.
I must have blinked when you were talking about this tool that monitors electricity usage. Could you explain that again, please?
It's a rainforest gateway is the best product that we found, and you actually have to have Wi-Fi in your home and a smart meter. So what it's actually doing is monitoring the electric usage through the smart meter cranking to figure out what appliance is actually operating in there. And after about a month, it'll actually learn your home, and it'll actually figure out when the hot water heater comes on, when you're cooking dinner if you have an electric range, when the TV comes on, you know, all of those things. And you can actually go online and look at that information and that data and actually make educated decisions as to, do I want to change things? Do I want to change my habits? Is there a better way for me to do something? Is there a better appliance out there that may cost me more out of pocket today, but on the flip side, is it going to give me a payback in a reasonable period of time to actually upgrade that appliance? Yes?
Can you explain this heat pump system? Is it for hot water?
There's actually 2. There's two systems. There's an air source heat pump, which is actually for heating and cooling your home. And then there's a heat pump hot water heater, which is substantially more efficient than a traditional electric resistant heat pump, hot water heater, excuse me. And I do have literature over here for the ductless mini split air source heat pumps for heating and cooling your home.
Well, right now I have probably a 30-year-old hot water, 80-gallon hot water tank, and Green Mountain Power is paying, I don't know, $12 a month for renting this white elephant.
We actually also rent.
I'm surprised Green Mountain Power isn't changing. But so in the is this something I can request that you install a hot water heat pump and I pay rent on it?
Yes. Yeah. You can do a 7-year, 10-year, or 15-year term for renting the air source heat pump for heating and cooling your home. You also can request that you get an upgrade from your old water heater that you currently have to a heat pump hot water heater, in which, once again, those 2 scenarios, there's no out of pocket for you.
Doesn't that information come in my Green Mountain Power bill?
I believe the heat pump information was in last month's bill stuffer regarding the air source heat pump. And I believe what you should see next month is the heat pump hot water heater.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Relatively new programs.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, to follow up on that, I'm curious about the cost of leasing, and the flyer says that the cold climate heat pump delivers 3 times more heating energy to a home than the electric energy it consumes. And I'm just wondering, how much electricity is that? Is there if it's an insulated home of a certain number of cubic feet of heated volume, like, really how much electricity does it use?
You're gonna see an increase of, in this time of year, you'll see an increase in your electric bill of $40 to $60
A
per
month.
month. So if you were to actually compare that to what you would be using burning for fossil fuel, it's actually gonna be substantially less, even in an insulated home. But on average, you're gonna see that throughout the year. If you use it for air conditioning in the summer, and those shoulder months, I mean, is where it's really gonna shine, because of the fact that it's inverter-driven technology, so you don't have a motor that's like, boom, I'm at full force. It's gradual up and gradual down, so you're not using a substantial amount of electricity to get it there. We've actually, at this point in time, I think, leased about 214 units, and some of those are in excess of a year at this point in time, in which that's what we're seeing is, on average, around $40, $45 a month. And when I say that, throughout the year, you're gonna have those peaks. If we have a February that it's consistently zero, you're gonna see those costs go up a little bit more. But on average, 40 to 45 bucks. That's pretty cheap to heat your home.
Bruce, when we learn when it's ready, we can contact you
Yeah.
and you can.
And I'll get it out to this group.
Everybody.
I attended it. Jake from Efficiency Vermont came down and explained the heat pumps and how, well, didn't get into the weeds on how they work, but gave a really good presentation, and especially about the vocabulary and stuff. So it'll be worth the watch even on a TV.
The best explanation I've heard for how a heat pump works is it's magic. I've heard it's very hard to have anybody really explain it in a way that you can understand it easily. So when a person asks you how it works, just tell them it's magic.
Last year I did tape in is on under SEON on BCTV. Peter Temple came and explained how heat pumps work, and I think did a very good job. So you can, that's an archived on BCTV. If you have a computer and an internet connection, then you can stream it.
I'll get that link and I'll send it out.
Right, and I'll provide.
It's interesting you say that, because I was just gonna say, the technology, the easiest way to explain it's magic, or the other one that I've heard is it's a refrigerator on steroids that goes both ways.
And the really magic part is you could have solar panels on your roof. The sun is doing fusion out there, and the little photons are coming and hitting your panels, creating electricity out of magic, flowing down to your heat pump, moving heat from the outside to the inside. Magic. We're no longer burning anything. Kind of magic.
So if you'd like, I can
general
actually...
questions, general discussion, and food. And stay as long as you can.
And feel free, there's a bunch of brochures about the lease program over here, as well as the heat pumps themselves.
What's the monthly cost on the heat pumps?
It depends on the size of the space you're heating.
Let's pick an average size, what is it, 1,500?
I'll go with the higher end, the 18,000 BTU unit, which will heat and cool about 1,200 square feet of insulated space, and I want to clarify insulated space. You're looking at $52.99, and that's for the standard unit.
Per month?
Yep, for 15 years. And then if you want to upgrade that to a hyperheat, which is good to 20 below zero, that's going to be an upcharge of $3 per month. So the standard units typically are producing heat to zero. The hyperheats go to 20 below.
And Efficiency Vermont has a incentive on both the heat pumps for heating and cooling, and for the hybrid hot water heaters. The incentives, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, are both at the installer level, so it makes it really easy, no paperwork. There is information on the Efficiency Vermont website about the rebates and what installers and what models are eligible for the incentive.
Yeah, so since there, I'm going to change the subject a little bit, but since there are people here from different energy committees, I wanted to mention that with Katie Bird's leadership in Dummerston, we did a button-up workshop last fall, and we just had a meeting of the Dummerston Energy Committee over the weekend, and wanted to propose that for next year and future years, we kind of rotate that kind of button-up workshop among surrounding towns. So for example, you know, Putney might host it this year, and Guilford the year after, or Brattleboro. So I just wanted to put that out there in case anyone has thoughts on that. Katie is the expert in running it, but has done her job with that and passed on what she learned to us. But we want to try to inspire other towns to carry that ball for a while. And there are programs that people from the region can come to, so it's not necessary that such a workshop be done in every town.
I think it's a great idea. That's great.
Thanks.
Lee, it's a quick question to Lee. Are faith communities eligible for grants?
Yes.
Well, okay.
I might add that I got started on all of this by attending Katie, the button-up workshop in Dummerston.
Oh, great.
And went around to the different tables and found out about HVAC. So it was very useful.
Good, great.
And I like the idea, Alex, about the towns doing it because it's so much more efficient to have professionals show up and have a draw from 4 towns. They spend part of their Saturday doing outreach, and the outer they can reach, the better.
And Ben will, I know, be making a note about this for, and I'll make sure it gets forwarded on to the button-up committee, which I was part of for this past year's button-up. So I like that idea. Any other burning questions?
We are hoping in Brattleboro to have a forum on PACE sometime in the near future, bring Bob Walker down.
Oh, great. Good.
Bob's actually doing a presentation tonight in Bedford about the PACE program. And I saw a presentation that he did in Norwich, his very first one. And he didn't think he did a very good job. I thought he did great. So it's really an amazing program, and the concept of being able to fund energy efficient upgrades so effectively and so locally it's a great program, and I just hope it spreads.
Lisa.
2 things. Well, first, I just came over and I'm sorry I made that gurgling noise while someone was talking, but I poured the hot water in there. And so the demo is running over here, and I will leave it for you to interpret the data if you come over and look. But I'm happy to hear that HEAT is going to consider doing the IR camera along with the blower door test out, because I've done just about every program out there in different stages, and I think that's an area where you could really help drive an improvement, because I've had contractors test out, and I've had the blower door test shows you your air changes, so how much air leakage do you have in your house, and I've showed an amazing improvement, reduction in air leakage, but I actually still have mysteries, so I'm going to sign up for a heat energy audit, and I'm going to ask them to do the IR camera before and after. And I would encourage everyone who does an audit through anyone to do that, because there are really 2 levels of mystery. And if I sealed my attic and my basement with foam, but something was missed, I could have serious problems. And actually, you can look at the demo houses even and see which one is warmer, but you wouldn't necessarily want to live in a steam bath. So if you were air sealing and insulating really well, you'd want to make sure you had your ventilation system matched to your moisture output in your home. So I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but the blue chimney is a house that has no air leaks, and fewer air leaks intentionally, and the insulated house is the same size box inside, the same heated volume, and it's got the green chimney, and they're showing up as the green line, and the red line is just the room line for a baseline comparison. And I don't know if anybody besides me wants to say which color is higher, warmer.
The blue is warmer.
The blue is warmer, and most kids are really confused by that because they pick the house where they see the visible insulation. But a lot of great stuff can be done just by air sealing. The cheapest option. Yeah. And good, careful construction by SEON type professionals.
There you go.
If you go to Green Mountain Power's website and go under customer programs, you can actually see the heat pump, hot water heater, and anything else that we're coming up.
The what, New Hampshire, Vermont guy?
The New Hampshire, Vermont guy. There's a lot of good information.
Well, thank you.
And it's always changing. So when I'm telling you what today,
Yeah, you know,
maybe we'll do something new tomorrow.
first editions of them when our kids were really young. So that was like all of our free time was out paddling.